Hello. Can you see that I'm kind of crooked? How is everyone tonight? I'm going to wait just a couple seconds for everybody to get on. I'm sorry for my sniffles. We've been moving rooms around today. Hello. Hi Peter, how are you? I'm making notes quick here. How was your day? Cool. It's kind of cold. It feels like fall today. I'm real chatty, aren't I? And the lights are funky. I'll get it better next time. I'm just going to wait a little bit and see if anyone else joins us or if they're going to watch later. Okay. Well, so this session, Unraveling and Sorting, is about control. The title is Control, Falling Apart to Pull It Together. And it's what we do. We think that somebody's kind of playing with my door. See, I'm going to pull it together. The children know I'm on here live. What's up? I don't know where it is. Well, get it then. Pay no attention to the stealthy figure in the background. Thank you. Alright, so, yeah. Control is a funny thing because we feel like we need to be in it all the time. We've kind of been taught that it's important to be in control all of the time. And it's really, the more you're trying to hold it together, the less in control you actually are. We can, like, the only thing that we really truly have control over is ourselves and our reaction to things. We can try to maneuver and plan as much as possible, but it doesn't always work out the way that we intend. And sometimes we really truly do just have to fall apart in order to regain some composure. We get all crazy and our heads take over and get all jumbled up with all kinds of stuff that's really irrelevant. It's all a bunch of fears and worries that were put on us by other people in the world, deciding what things are supposed to be like or not. Whoops, sorry. Can you actually hear me? That's a really important question to ask. I was just playing with my headset there. Anyway, thank you, Peter. So, yeah, lots of people someone decided exactly how we all should behave and feel and think however long ago, and we've all been trying to play that game for a very long time, and it is kind of adjusted over the course of time, but it's still somebody else deciding who you are, how you get to feel, how you get to react, what you get to think. The elections are right now. It's a perfect time to be talking about control. People want to make certain choices because they feel out of control and worried and scared, and they think that that one person who's spouting all sorts of untruths, things that they can't actually for certain make happen, so that you'll choose them, and they're telling you that they're going to make everything okay and they're going to protect you by keeping certain things a certain way. But they can't do that. They have absolutely, really, truly, almost no control over that, whatever. You are truly the only one who has control over you and your situation. And anything else is a lie. You have insecurity, and that's normal, everyone does. But the only way to actually feel and be safe is to trust yourself and know and be secure in yourself. Know that you are your greatest resource, that you have the ability to tap into who you are, what you know, and your source, whatever you want to call source for you, at any time, and get the answers that you need in order to be safe and have what you need. Sometimes we get crazy and we make up a lot of crap in our heads. That's not true. We've been taught to live in our heads, that we can't truly trust our heart or our intuition. And that also is not true. It's a lie. If we all would be living, yes, sometimes we call it God, if we would all be living through our hearts, we would be happier, and we would be very secure, and we would feel very safe, because our hearts speak our truth. And sometimes our truth and our hearts lead us into situations that appear unpleasant and unsafe. And being human, choosing this life to explore and experience, is about learning and growing, and all we're really ever doing is learning and growing. So our heart is going to lead us right where we need to be in order to learn what we need to learn. And sometimes we get led into what appears to be a really awful mess. That has happened to me once or twice. And I thought that that meant I couldn't trust myself and my heart. Hello, Roseanne. Welcome. But that's not what it meant. It meant that I had something to learn, and my heart knew exactly where I needed to go to do it, and it led me directly to that place. And yes, many times a mess happened, but I did learn something valuable, and I grew, and I got stronger, and I didn't need to make that choice or that decision or learn that lesson again. So there's lots of ways that we try to control things. Control is very often about fear, and I say this a lot, but at the core of everything, even the fear, even the mess, is love. It's all love. The earth exists as a grand experiment in love and learning about the different facets of it. So everything at its core is love. And when so there's some people who offer that you can choose between fear and you can choose between love. And recently it was brought to my attention, and I guess I kind of came to this in my own way earlier, that it's kind of like falling at the feet of love, or that you get to bring love into each situation, and so that you can see what's really happening. And sometimes that means falling apart, and we fall apart in different ways. I remember when one of my grandmas died, my uncle kept telling everybody to be strong. And I remember feeling very annoyed with him for saying that, because she was my grandmother. And why wouldn't I cry if I felt sad that she was gone? She was one of my favorite people. Emma's middle name is her first name. We named Emma after my grandma. And we just have this really hard time expressing our emotions, feeling our emotions, watching other people have emotions, watching children have emotions. Emotions are this really horrifying, scary thing, and we think we shouldn't have them. And that's why everyone is so sick and so sad and depressed and having all of these symptoms all over the place, because they're not feeling anything. We're here to feel. To feel is to be alive, and that's what the point of being human here is. We're spiritual beings, and we're here having a human experience, and we're meant to experience the gamut of emotions, joy. If we don't allow ourselves to feel sadness, we have no idea what true joy is. If we don't allow ourselves to feel anger, we can't truly experience passion in any way. Anger is a form of passion. We miss out on life. I was doing that. I was so afraid to feel emotions, I actually checked out of my body, and I didn't even know I was doing that. I had one of my coaches said, after we'd been meeting for months and months, she told me, you check out. You move out of your body and you don't feel anything. And at the time, I had already been doing a lot of sorting and growing, but I was sick a lot, and I was still battling with depression and anxiety and confused why that was still happening. I had done all these things to try and fix it and make it better, but it didn't truly begin improving and getting better until I actually started moving into and feeling and expressing my emotions. I had grief piled up, just years and years of grief piled up. I thought that grief was only about dying and experiencing death. And I hadn't actually had that many people who were close to me die, so I was confused and I thought I had already sorted it. But grief is a funny thing. Grief is something we do from day one. A baby experiences grief whenever something that it had that was comforting is taken away from it. And we just continue to experience that throughout our whole life. Being human is about learning how to let go. And that is what grieving is. And we are not taught at all how to grieve, or that what grief really is, and how necessary it is to feel it. Children just naturally move through that when they have temper tantrums or they cry. They're feeling and they're living all day long, and it's one of the things that we all love about them. And somewhere along the line, we're taught that it's not okay for us to act like that anymore, to feel anything anymore, and we have to shut it down, and we cannot cry, and that the only emotions that we really should express are happiness or joy, and they're really not the same thing. Joy or anger sometimes. And even anger, you should control and only express in certain ways. And, well, I'm calling bullshit on that, because I've learned to express my emotions in whatever way, shape, or form they are asking me to be expressed. And sometimes that means, you're this human and we have senses, right? We can feel, we can see, we can touch, we can taste, we can hear. And we're meant to live and express and be in all of those places. It's what makes us sensual. Those are our senses. Sensuality isn't just about sexuality, it's about being in your body and feeling with all of your senses. And once I started getting in touch with my feelings and expressing them in ways that they were asking, whether that be crying or wailing and actually making sounds, jumping up and down, stomping my feet, yelling into a pillow, or just yelling in general. My marriage was abusive in a few ways, and my coach and I worked through a lot of my feelings, and just a lot of sorting went on before I got my divorce. And I thought that I had done and finished most of my sorting by the time our divorce was final. But then after it was final and the children actually went to visit their dad on weekends, a lot of things started coming up that I hadn't actually felt or expressed before. Anastasia's crying. See, emotions are being expressed right here. Guessing she got hurt. Emma's got it. So a lot of things came up, and on my weekends, all of a sudden I found myself feeling rage, just like violent rage. And I would yell and scream and make sounds that would frighten so many people probably. And it was summertime still, and I wondered if the neighbors ever just wondered what the hell was going on over there. Maybe they couldn't hear me, but I could feel in my body where those sounds were coming from, and sometimes it was my toes, and I could feel the exact sound that needed to be made. And when I made it, it didn't last very long. It didn't need to be long that I took to express that. I think at least I did, get afraid that if we allow ourselves to be in this space with these emotions and to feel them, that they would never go away, and that that is who we are, and it would just consume us. And that's not true. Because what really happens when you actually start feeling your emotions is they last only a short time. And there's this glorious release that happens, and all of a sudden, after a few seconds or a few minutes, they're gone. The real suffering is in the waiting, and the wondering, and the worrying, and the avoiding, because you're afraid of what might happen, of what it's going to feel like, afraid that it's going to stay that way forever, afraid that that really is who you are. If you have an emotion that, if you feel anger, we feel afraid that that is who we are. Or if we feel sadness, or even if we feel joy. Joy is one of them, was for me, and I think for a lot of people, is one of the most difficult emotions to feel. I remember the first time I felt joy, it was fucking excruciating, and I remember counting to 10 and being like, is it over yet? And it felt good. It was easier for me to be in rage for days than it was for me to feel joy for 10 seconds. That's kind of profound and frightening. And I think it's still easier for me to feel the yucky emotions because it's what I've gotten used to. Yeah, it is kind of sad, but it's true, and I think it's true for a lot of people. Life, then, you get to make a choice where you get to decide, am I choosing to be in this place of ugliness and sadness and fear and darkness? Or am I going to choose to feel good? And on the other side of feeling the dark is the good ones, the good feelings. And life then gets to be an exercise in how good can you stand it. So you then get to a place where you recognize that you're feeling joy, and then you let yourself stay in that space for as long as you think you can handle it, and then push it a little more and a little more. And eventually I notice that I've checked out and I'm done. But I always try to push myself to open up a little bit more into that space of feeling joy or love or the good things. Because when we do that, we're emitting that frequency, that vibration, and there's a law, like gravity, a universal one, that says that you have to match that frequency. So when you are allowing yourself to be in joy, you're drawing more joy to you instead of more of the shit that you don't want. So, falling apart. Falling apart can look like having a temper tantrum. I have a hard time. Yeah. I have a hard time letting myself have temper tantrums because mine get hot and sweaty and loud. And I feel out of control, and I don't like feeling out of control. And life sucks when I know I need to go lose control. I need to go have a freak out session. And when I can let myself do that, it gets loud. There's a lot of expletives that get expressed. It gets sweaty. And I'll just tell you, I use an exercise ball, one of those big ones, and I throw it up against the wall in the basement with cement walls. as hard as I can. And sometimes lately I have a mop whole pole down there without the mop head attached to it. Sometimes I have to actually beat the ball as hard as I can and scream at it and yell at it and make all the sounds. And you do that until you're spent, until you fall to the ground and you have nothing left. There's my alarm. We have to be appreciative right now. And then you cry, or you breathe and you wait for what comes next, because you'll get messages about what you need to do next. And while you're having a temper tantrum, you will realize things that you had stuck and blocked in there that were causing you issues, and you've just let it go, and it's done, and it's over, and you feel really good. And maybe you go take a shower after, which then makes things even better because you're clearing off all of the shit that you just expressed. And showers are awesome. Water is awesome because it actually helps draw information to you. And you can fall apart by running. You can fall apart by just letting yourself truly cry or fall asleep. You get to listen to your body because your body tells you exactly what you need to do. Moving your body in ways that it's asking you to move. We don't even realize as adults, if we're not conscious of the ways our bodies are asking us to move. And as babies, you watch babies. They move all the time. They're in constant motion unless they're sleeping. And adults actually try to mimic babies, and they get exhausted very quickly. Even people who are like, they train, they do all of this. Yes, washing off all of this shit. Yes. And then all these really cool messages come through the shower and through the water. But people who actually are, they work out on a regular basis get exhausted when they try to mimic the movement of babies. And as we get older, we stop moving so much, and then things get stagnant in our bodies, and we feel sad and depressed, or a whole host of other things. But if we would move in ways that feel good to our bodies, like your jaw, people trap a lot of stuff in their jaw. If you just take time during the day to stop and move your jaw, you're releasing all kinds of shit every time you do that. And it feels good. And if you keep moving in the direction of what feels good, eventually you start feeling really good. And all you have to do is take that one tiny little step to move your jaw because it doesn't feel good. And, oh, that felt good. Maybe that feels good. And just keep doing that. And it's like the snowball effect if you keep with it. So my assignment, and what we will use the group to talk about for as long as you need to, is getting present with your body and breathing. And noticing all the ways that, and the places where you feel tense or stuck. Because all of that is emotions that are stuck, that want to move and be free. Because remember, everything is love. And love is like water, and it has to move. And if you're not making space for it, it will find its own way out. And sometimes its way out doesn't look pretty. Sometimes its way out looks like depression. Sometimes its way out looks like I'm fucking done here and I'm checking out. Sometimes its way out looks like cancer. Sometimes its way out looks like colds and flus. And your body tells you before any of that ever happens that it needs something. You just get to get really conscious and pay attention. So, your assignment. Get conscious and aware. Pay attention to your body. Notice what you're physically feeling in your body, where you're tense, where it's sort of tender and it hurts. And ask yourself, what do I need to do? What would feel good? What would have this space that, yes, does make sense, doesn't it? What would have this space feel good again? What do I need to do? How do I need to move? How do I need to fall apart? And then do it. And it might start slowly, and that's okay. You don't have to have an all-out freaking out session. I'm just at a place where I can do that now. And very honestly, I put it off much longer than I should because I still don't like it, even though it helps. I try to address things in more gentle ways first, when really I should just go have a temper tantrum first. I'll get there. So yeah, get conscious. Be aware. Notice where you are hurting, where things don't feel good, where they're tense. And then move. Ask what's going on. How do you need to move? How do you need to fall apart? And do it until you start feeling better. And then do the next thing that feels good until you feel even better. And then journal about that. Write about it. And share in the group. You know, if you have things that come up, or share one or two or however many of your experiences that you want to share. And support one another in celebrating, because really it's a celebration of you recognizing and loving yourself. This is like self-care at a very much deeper level than just, not that this isn't important, but it's at a deeper level than, lighting candles and buying yourself flowers or going fishing, going to work on the car. It's at a deeper level. This is at a I fucking love you and you're worth it level. Are you ready for that? You're worth it. Your life is worth it. Everything that you want to feel and experience in this life is on the other side of you choosing to do this. All of it. So, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to just pause for a few seconds. Me talking and you responding is delayed. So I'm going to wait a couple seconds and see if you have any questions or thoughts. I'm just making some notes over here so I can add some things to the group. So I didn't plan out exactly what I was going to say. I wanted Spirit to just speak through me because I'm so very inspired by that lately. It's much more important. It works better than me babbling about nothing. So your assignment that came through just came through now. So I'm writing it down so I can make an actual PDF of it in the group for you. So yeah, what questions, what thoughts do you have? I'm not even going to explain that. There's just things that changed on my phone today and I don't know how to make them better yet, so I'm sorting that out. Can I give an example? Could you be more specific, like a thorough example of like having moved through my emotions and what came out on the other side? Is that what you mean, Peter? I know, we're waiting still because this is delayed. It's weird how delayed it is. Show you how to go through it. Okay, yep. So, right now, I'm feeling tense in my jaw. Right in here, around my ears, and in here. And I will tell you, so tension in your neck, in your face, back of your neck, and your shoulders is sadness. And I was noticing earlier today that there is sadness. I can feel it under there because I just said it. So now I can feel the sadness in my heart. I'm faster at moving through this now because I've done it. It might be slower for you. I'm not entirely sure right this second what it is I'm sad about, and that's not necessarily relevant. It's just that that feeling is, that emotion is there. So, and if you notice, I'm starting to breathe deeper because I am sitting with this sadness that I'm feeling, while I also want to keep moving my jaw so that I can move it out of there. And I don't usually move my jaw like this on a regular basis during the day, so I'm making it big. And weird ways that you don't usually move that space on your face or anywhere. If it's your shoulders, wiggle them around. This is where dancing is really cool. Nobody has to watch you. Put music on and just move. It will help you move. Yep, see? I've seen Joanne make this face, so yeah, you laugh at me. So move your jaw, and I can feel things loosening up already in there, and I can feel the sadness moving. I'm taking deep breaths because I need to, because it's moving. Deep breaths and yawning. Sometimes you'll start watering. You might cry, but literally, like, your eyes might start watering. That's an indication that the stuck feelings and energy are moving. Definitely like deep sighs, and they will feel kind of like the sighs that you have after you've had a really good cry. Things have been moving so much for me lately that I actually have noticed in my day I just sigh like that often, and I wasn't consciously processing anything. So there's more. I can feel tension in my shoulders too, because it's like the sadness is spreading, but it's not spreading like it's gonna take over me. It's spreading as in it's moving out, because it's starting to spread away from where it was stuck and move out. So it's the letting go of that and letting it move. Sometimes you can actually just close your eyes and be with the feelings, and you can actually feel it move through your body. I can feel it moving up the back of my shoulders and my neck now. And if I was going to describe it, you know what sadness feels like. I guess it's kind of like this, if you could imagine like a paper burning, if you lit it on fire and the fire's moving up the paper, and what's burnt is disintegrating and the fire just keeps moving up. It feels like that. Yeah, when you lay down for bed, yes, that's you. Your energy is moving. It's changing. You're processing things from your day. A lot of us, we lay down and go to sleep, and our brain starts going right about all of the things that happened during the day. And when you're yawning, that's lack of oxygen and needing more, but while you're breathing, you are moving all of that. And it's beginning that process. While you're sleeping, you're processing. Your brain and your body are like packing away all of the things and categorizing all of the things that happened all day. If you watch the movie, it's a Disney movie, Inside Out. It's perfect for explaining how this works. And it's funny and fun. So that could be something like a bonus thing to try while you're participating in this. Because every night, when you fall asleep, your body does this integration processing thing and it categorizes and put things where they need to go. And so, like, stuck emotions are emotions that didn't get processed and didn't get fully felt. They didn't get integrated into all of who you are. So it's sort of like they're lost and they need to be located, acknowledged, felt, and then they can integrate and become a part of who you are. And I know that when I say become a part of who you are, that probably sounds kind of scary because you don't want the feeling to be a part of who you are. Maybe kind of look at it more as a lesson learned, a task completed, and it's done. So while I'm talking about this, I'm processing, and I still don't know what it is I'm sad about. I think all of a sudden, I've not been taking very good care of myself lately. I'm exhausted and tired, and I've been pushing and doing too much and taking care of too many people and not me. And my inner child and me are sad about that because I'm not taking care of myself. So after I'm done here, I'm going to go do that more and process that more fully. This is a practice, and I know, and it's maybe not true for everybody, but we think we learned something, and that once it's learned, it's just how it's going to be from now on. We learn a way of thinking or a new lesson for ourselves, and okay, so like my fuck off post that I did a couple weeks ago, and that was about, creating new boundaries for myself, about who gets to be in my life and who doesn't, and what I want and what I don't want. But that doesn't mean that all of a sudden I'm like, hell yes and hell no about everything. I'm not. I've still got practice to go through with all of that. There's still experiences for me to go through to kind of sort through and figure out if that's really what I want or if it isn't. There's still a process involved. There's still pieces of it to practice. Life is just this grand. Gotta figure that out. Life is just a grand practice, and if you can give yourself grace and recognize that you're just always practicing and always learning, that takes a lot of pressure off. You don't have to get it right all the time because there isn't right and there isn't wrong. There's just how you're feeling, how you're experiencing it, how you're practicing it, what you chose right now, because you're always doing your best with what you have and what you know right in that moment. And exactly, being kind to yourself. So this feeling thing, this moving and falling apart and expressing, like, the falling apart is like, I can feel me trying to hold it all together. I can feel me being tense. I can feel me feeling like I've got to show up for all these people, and I've got all these clients I've got to take care of, and I've got friends that need me, and my kids need me, and all these people need me. And I'm just getting more and more tense because I'm trying to take care of everyone I need to fall apart. I need to go get in the bathtub that's really hot and melt again. I need to eat food, and I need to sit on the couch and not think. I need to let myself open up and relax and breathe. So falling apart can be lovely, and it can be messy, and I might start crying. I don't know. But that will be part of me falling apart too. And once I get to this point, it's a very loud indication that I waited too long and definitely needed to have remained open for longer than I did. Also means that I was saying yes to too many things and not no enough. So there's more of my lesson about fuck off because I wasn't saying no enough. See? And that doesn't mean I have to tell everybody to fuck off. It's not what that means. It's just more practice than me saying no to things. So there's that. I don't know. Was that, yeah, you maybe need to do more, Roseanne. Is that kind of clear? Do you need more examples? Do you have any other thoughts or questions? No, we still have this delay thing where we're waiting. I'm going to, I wrote out what your assignment is, and I'm going to put that, I think I'll put that on a document instead of in the comments because it will get lost in the comments. So I will write it out, and then I'm still writing, but I would probably feel better if I did tell more people. Yes, you probably would. Different ways. I'll put it in a document under the files section, and I'll leave a note about it so that you can find it easier. Yeah, you do sometimes have to save it for later. I will tell you this. I'll give you kind of a secret way to do it. And there's ways to do this discreetly too. So the breathing is really important. If you can breathe into it. But there's also, if you go on this part of your hand or on your collarbone and you tap gently or just rub it, that actually helps you move through your emotions. Yeah, that could be grounds for termination. Yes. So if you feel yourself getting tense and like you need to fall apart, of course you could excuse yourself and go in the bathroom or outside for a walk. Going for a walk can be falling apart. But also if you can't get away, you can rub this part of your hand, either hand, or sometimes I karate chop this way. That's called your karate chop point. You can tap on it like this gently with either hand, and that helps you release emotions. And tapping on your collarbone does too. It helps you process and move the emotions through your body. So that's a really cool thing that you can try while you're in a situation where you can't be loud about how you're feeling. That technique is used for a lot of things, but it's really super great for processing and moving through emotions. Awesome question. And yeah, you can cry. Like, there is no shame in that. Shame is the most horrifying, ridiculous, awful emotion ever. It keeps so many things blocked, and crying is beautiful for everyone. And people really, I think we're all just looking for permission to feel what we fucking feel. And the more of us who do that, loudly, unabashedly, unapologetically, courageously in front of people. We're giving people permission. That doesn't mean we all have to walk around having temper tantrums, but if we did, it's just processing emotions. I mean, people get so tense, like even when kids have temper tantrums in the grocery store, like we gotta go hide it because it's a shameful, horrible thing and it makes you a terrible parent and whatever else. Bullshit on all of it. Bullshit. I have had times where I've been at the cash register and kids are falling apart all over the place and like extra people come up to help out. Like how many people can possibly pack your groceries while one person is getting stuff through the beepy thing? I mean, like, really? And every one of them, like every fucking one of them, looks more terrified that some sort of bomb is going to go off all of a sudden. Well, the bomb's already going off because the kid's freaking out, right? And the kid's freaking out because, yeah, maybe I didn't plan well or something didn't go the way they wanted. But really, all those people are feeling worried and tense and whatever else because they're not allowed, they think, to feel their emotions. And they've been taught that emotions are bad things. Imagine how that would all look differently if all of those people felt comfortable with their own selves and their own emotions. They would come over and they might be compassionate because that has happened before too. And I mean, I was like in that situation where I'm trying to take care of myself, my 4 children, and all 5 of the people, adults that are standing there trying to get us out of the store as soon as possible because they can't hack my kid freaking out. Not cool. Talk about responsibility. Yeah, sometimes that happens. And you know, sometimes, fine, fucking get them the candy bar. But you get to make that call. Like, you know, that's more about responsibility. We'll have more discussions about that. But, you know, if people really truly felt comfortable with their emotions, those situations wouldn't be tense and horrifying for people. So there's that. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's frustrating. I have to figure out how to make that stop doing that. It's like snooze. I can't turn it off. It keeps going on snooze and I don't know how to turn it off. It's an alarm and it's not working the same way it did yesterday because of some update that happened. Anyway, questions. Any other thoughts or questions that you have? You guys are having awesome questions and thoughts. Jack's cooking. You maybe can hear the timer. Just realized the timer's going off because he's making supper. Do you have any questions about the assignment part of it? And you can always ask stuff in here. I will get notifications when you guys have posted something, or you can private message me too. Yeah. So you can always post stuff here. That's what the group is for. I'm hoping to kind of add more people to it because this will be available for people to just purchase so they can watch the video and participate at their will. Okay, I'm gonna like wait 10-ish more seconds and then I'm gonna let you go and get on with your day, and I'm gonna go take care of myself. We're just having baked potatoes tonight because we needed simplicity. The girls are moved out of, well, the girls and Will and I were all sharing a bedroom. And the girls decided that they were safe together moving upstairs to one of the bedrooms, so our house is trashed today. Cooking is not a priority. The assignment is to get clear. Notice in your body where you're tense. and I'll write it down, Peter, so you can look at it. And go to that place. Breathe into it. And just kind of feel into what movement would feel good. And once you decide or get an idea of what movement feels good, do it and move, because that's going to help you start the falling apart. And then notice what feels good next, and keep doing those things, those movements. Or if you feel like you need to write, or if you feel like you need to go for a drive, or you feel like you need to go beat the shit out of something in your basement. No people, obviously, but something. Be safe, don't hurt yourself. It's just about getting present with your body, what you're feeling, and what you need to do to feel better. And it's going to probably be different at different times, because your body's going to need something different. Sometimes it might be sounds that you have to make or feel like you want to make. And sometimes that could actually be laughter. So, yeah, noticing that. Does that make sense? As long as it's something, not someone, absolutely. I promise I'll write it out and I'll put it in the files. So the files, I don't have the page in front of me, but it'll be at the top, right underneath where the picture in the group is. There's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 tabs. There's like about and photos and I don't remember, videos maybe, and files or something. I think actually the videos are under the photos. But if you just click on the files tab, you'll see it in there. Okay. Sometimes falling apart means talking to other people too. I don't find that there's something that always works for me. I have things that work often, but I don't have something that works always. So I like tools. And it's good to have a toolbox full of things that you can use, but really it's about checking in with yourself. It works best when you can check in with yourself and find out and figure out and feel into what it is that needs to happen right now. And, it's like that right before you have a temper tantrum and you need to go scream. It's that, getting really like in tune with yourself to know that I have to go scream, and where can I do it? Or if I can't do it right now, what can I do instead that will help? And that's where like the tapping will come in handy, because it's discreet. Writing can be helpful. Making a video that you can choose to delete or share. Running, walking, calling a friend. Yeah. Anything else? You know who you are, Peter. It's just a matter of listening to you. Start small. It's Jessica time. Take care of you. Yes, thank you, Roseanne. You know who you are. Check in with yourself. Just tonight, do something small and check in with yourself and find where you're feeling tense. And then figure out in that tense spot What does that tense spot want? How could you move to make it less tense? And just do that. That's one small way that you can figure out who you are, more about who you are. Because you are this thing, this being. You're always learning about who you are. You never stop. Well, it's kind of shutting up and listening, yeah. Just get quiet with you. You know, at the end of your workday, when somebody asks you how you are and you're like, oh, I'm good, and you like rub the back of your neck. It's like that. Only we do a lot of it subconsciously. We're not paying attention. All I'm asking you to do is pay attention and be conscious about it. Like, oh, I just rubbed the back of my neck. And that felt kind of good. Yes, that's totally Peter. Good call, Roseanne. Or even if you're just sitting watching TV and you do something as simple as just like, you know, rubbing your hand. You're welcome, Peter. Just rub. And all that feels good. Or that thing. Rub your ears. Your ears can feel tense, and when you rub them, they feel better. Give yourself an ear massage. Giving you all kinds of ideas. What feels good to you? That's what I want you to ultimately discover. Okay? Any other thoughts or questions? Thank you, Peter. You're awesome too, and you're so welcome. I hope you both have a really super awesome night. And anyone else who's watching this video or day, whatever it is, it's nighttime here right now. And maybe she does. Maybe she does. I'm gonna head out so I can go be with my kiddos and chill for the rest of the night. And hopefully sleep tonight, because that didn't really happen last night. That's another reason I'm tired. I will write this up and get it posted in the group for you tonight so you have it. And I look forward to hearing more from you in the group. Okay? Awesome. There are other people who are joining, but they couldn't be on the call right now, so they'll watch it later. So, there's that. Alrighty? Okay. I love you both. I'll talk with you soon. Sleep well. Bye.